You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we're going to take a look back at 2025's biggest moments in the world of politics.
But first, a Pittsburgh boy who underwent a bone marrow transplant is welcome home with a parade.
And thankfully, the parade taking place before this. An alert day today. Bitterly cold temperatures, wind chills for some of us below zero this morning. We're going to talk about those cold temperatures coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. on this Monday, December 29th. That cold front, man, it was something else yesterday, for sure.
Yeah.
And it made it very cold this morning. However, before it got too cold, a special celebration in Pittsburgh.
Yes, you know, we may not be super excited to see these cold temps, but something we are excited to see is a little boy named Calvin. A Pittsburgh boy who underwent a bone marrow transplant is welcome home with a parade.
KOAM's Mitch Adams spoke with the young family and some parade participants and brings us more details.
That's the sound of a 5-year-old from Pittsburgh coming home after 5 months in the hospital.
Calvin just got home from having a bone marrow transplant in Cincinnati, Ohio. We've been there since July, and now he can't really see a lot of people and hang out with them in person, so the easiest way is to do a car parade that my mother-in-law set up for us.
Crawford County Sheriff Billy Tomasi rounded up his deputies and cleared the way.
I want our county community to understand that our department cares about this community, not just one child, it's the whole community, the whole family, everybody out there. We're one family and we're here to support everybody in our community.
Motorcycles, fire trucks, and cars of Calvin supporters waved him on as they drove by, marking a milestone in a long journey.
I was just shaking the whole time because, the thrill with it and seeing him excited, and I feel like I was mainly excited probably out of everybody just because we've had a long journey, so it's exciting to be home.
Calvin's parents say that the community has been an invaluable part of getting their son back home after his procedure.
We honestly wouldn't have made it very far if we didn't have people in the community to help tie in on things because emergency situations with him, so we're extremely grateful and we're excited to be we're appreciative to be a part of the community, honestly.
In Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, some cars in the parade made a stop to give Calvin Christmas presents in light of the holiday season.
Certainly a very cool, very special welcome home for that special young man.
And I'm sure that was the greatest present his family really could have gotten, was him getting to be home for the holidays.
Absolutely. And having the whole community there to celebrate that return. And again, thankfully it took place before the cold front pushed through yesterday because it made it absolutely awful outside. Let's start with our live look downtown Pittsburgh where we've got clear skies. See, look, it looks so pretty. And then you open the door and then you feel like I've lied to you, but I haven't. It looks nice. It just doesn't feel nice. And when that cold front came through, boy, it came through with a punch across the region. Our camera 7th and range line in Joplin, again, looks absolutely beautiful outside so long as you're inside looking outside there. If you're outside, looking outside, you will not enjoy it so much. KDOT camera 69400 along 171. Looking good. And one final check. The MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. A few more cars on the road than we've seen the last few days. A lot of folks heading back to work today. And if you are, you need to bundle up. And this is why we have the alert day. There's a couple of reasons for it. One is the bitterly to potentially dangerously cold wind chills this morning. And reason number 2 is the huge temperature drop that took place. We are at 17 in Joplin right now, 18 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, temperatures haven't moved too much so far. We are in the mid to upper teens, and then we do have some low 20s out there. We got some 22s as the warmer spots, Sedan and Newada, and our colder spot right now is still Stockton sitting at 15. Now, we had wind advisories that were in place until 6 a.m. Those expired, but that is only because the wind gusts have dropped below wind advisory criteria. It is still quite breezy out, and because of that, look at these wind chills. It feels like 2 below 0 in Stockton and Greenfield, 1 below 0, Lamar and Carthage, 0, Joplin, Neosho, and Yates Center. The warmest wind chill, this is not like it's warm, is Sedan and Newada. It feels like 10 Feels like 0, Yates Center, 1 in Fort Scott. You kind of get the idea. This is dangerously cold temperatures for some people. So if you're heading out, if you have to head out, bundle up, stay where it's warm, keep the car warm. And if you don't have to head out early this morning, maybe don't, because it is very cold. And this is the other half of our alert day. Look at this. Thank God these aren't our wind chills. This is just simply how much the temperature has dropped since 24 hours ago. So at 7:05 yesterday morning, many of us were nearly 50 degrees warmer than where we are right now. That's that big temperature drop. Future track today, gusty northwest winds continue, but skies otherwise will remain clear. We just got to deal with that breeze until the late evening hours when it'll eventually ease up and our temperatures don't move a lot. About 20 by 9, mid-20s by noon. Our highs today into the upper 20s and low 30s. And with those northwest winds still gusting to 35, that keeps our wind chills into the teens through most of today. As I mentioned, though, winds do ease up tonight. Temperatures will start to warm up again this week. Details on that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A full-sized mobile home was spotted being towed illegally by a skid steer near Carthage, Missouri around 5 p.m. yesterday. The mobile home traveled east on Oak Street, north on CR 162, and east on West Mound Street. Jasper County deputies confirmed the towing was illegal, as such moves require special permits, escorts, and clearance checks for obstacles like mailboxes and power lines. The towing vehicle was switched from a skid steer to a tractor. It's unclear if the mover will be ticketed. The destination was near the dead end of West Mound Avenue. Further updates will follow. Well, a crash occurring Saturday in Carl Junction just before 6 p.m. Reports of a two-vehicle crash at Fountain Road and Highway JJ. Officials say the accident occurred when the 21-year-old female driver of a Kia Forte failed to yield, then traveled into the path of a Kia K5. Firefighters had to take the driver's side door off to extricate the driver, and the 21-year-old was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Well, just after 6:30 p.m. Saturday evening, reports came in of a pickup overturned on I-49 near the Garrison Avenue exit. Multiple emergency agencies were alerted and responded to the scene. The 19-year-old driver was transported to the hospital for moderate injuries. A female passenger, whose age was not released, was not injured in the accident. Officials say the crash occurred as the driver lost control of the vehicle, causing the vehicle to strike the bridge railing and overturn. The crash occurred in the southbound lanes of I-49 at the 55-mile marker. At some point, the 2002 Ford Ranger lost control, struck the guardrail, and overturned numerous times. Well, just after 9:30 p.m. Friday evening, the Neosho County Sheriff's deputy was parked on the shoulder in her patrol truck and was struck head-on in a hit-and-run crash. Deputy Sierra Riggs was transported to the Neosho Memorial Regional Medical Center of suspected minor injuries. The sheriff's office says Deputy Riggs has since returned to duty. They believe the vehicle that fled the crash scene was a pickup. The sheriff's office is asking anyone with information to please reach out. Well, 2025 kicked into high gear right from the start with a new Congress and a president starting his second term in office. Fox's Rebecca Castor takes a look back at the political highlights that shaped the year.
Raise your right hand.
The start of 2025 marked a significant shift in our nation's political landscape. Republicans took control of both chambers of Congress.
Congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
And President Trump returned to the Oval Office.
The golden age of America begins right now.
But January, we also bid farewell to our 39th President, Jimmy Carter.
He never stopped serving others until his final day.
As for newly inaugurated 47, his first 100 days were just beginning.
This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion.
Trump named Elon Musk head of DOGE.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Who, in one of his first moves, dismantled USAID.
Our Constitution is under attack.
There was drama in the Oval Office as Trump dressed down Ukraine's president.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people.
But by March, a shift in tone.
We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years.
Still, the president had more on his agenda. But there were critics.
I will stand here as long as I'm physically able.
On April 2nd, the president declared Liberation Day announcing a 10% baseline tariff and higher reciprocal rates for all imports.
We never charged anybody anything, but now we're going to charge.
The battle over deportations went on all year. ICE agents were targeted by protesters, and Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wife blasted the Trump administration for deporting her husband to a mega prison in El Salvador. Then the death of Pope Francis, and the selection of a new pope, the first from the U.S. July 4th, the president celebrated his One Big Beautiful Bill becoming law.
It's the triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy.
Followed by devastating news in Texas. Floods killing 135 people, including young campers, and dozens reported missing.
Deepest sympathy from all of us.
In August, the president headed to Alaska to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin.
And he has always said, in order to get a good deal, both sides are going to have to walk away a little bit unhappy.
And later in the summer, another trip to Europe for a second state visit with King Charles. But just days before came a shocking moment in Utah, the assassination of conservative activist and Turning Point founder Charlie Kirk.
Charlie was slain, doing what he loved, telling the truth, proclaiming his faith.
His death sparking a nationwide debate about political violence and free speech.
As Americans, we have to step up, and as leaders, we have to calm this rhetoric down.
By October, a historic Phase 1 peace deal. Israel and Hamas agreeing to release hostages. The month also marking the start of what would become the longest ever federal government shutdown.
TSA workers are not being paid.
In November, a pause to honor the life of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
We are grateful for his good life.
Followed by off-year elections.
Appreciated the conversation.
And after 43 days, the government finally reopened.
The bill is passed.
And Congress soon voted to release the Jeffrey Epstein files.
This bill is a command for the president to be fully transparent, to come fully clean.
Looking back at 2025, the president gives himself high praise for all that was accomplished.
A year that will go down as the most consequential and successful first year of any administration.
In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the Miners Home Museum opens a new exhibit that honors 250 years of the workers and innovations that built our nation. Welcome back. I'm joined this morning with Phyllis from the Miners Home Museum. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. We're always happy to talk about our new exhibits coming up.
Yes, and you have a really exciting one coming up, the Giants of American Grit. It sounds like it's going to be a great time.
It is. We have had the Page Walking Dragline exhibit on display a little bit, but we're kind of kicking it up a little bit this year. We're celebrating that 250th anniversary for the United States. We're also keeping in mind the Pittsburgh 150th, and we're trying to gear everything patriotic for the entire year. So we have a few little surprises and some great programming coming up with our new exhibit.
Amazing. Well, with this new exhibit, what are some of the things that people are maybe going to get to see or learn about?
Okay, well, as I said, it's been in place last year some, and we talked a lot about the Page, the dragline itself, Mr. Page, who was an amazing man who invented this machine, the Wilkinson Coal Company, they are the donors of the machine. But this year we're kind of, we love the title about the grit, and we were thinking of all the local grit. Think of those immigrants that came to this country and the grit that they showed. I mean, talk about, strength and what they had to go through. So we're focusing on that. So one of our fun things during this first quarter will be a scavenger hunt, and they can walk throughout our permanent exhibit, and we have a list of people that they can find, either people who were gritty or machines that were gritty, the big machines that really helped shape Southeast Kansas. So we think that's going to be really a fun thing and a great learning experience. So in addition to seeing and learning all about this beautiful machine that we are going to have on display soon, they'll be learning about the locals who helped create the area into what it is.
Yes, and I know so much work has come in to making this dragline project be possible here. So how exciting is it to kind of see it get to this point and be able to show and educate the public on it?
Well, our board, we're very active and we are so excited about this, but it's so wonderful to see the local interest. People are constantly either texting or messaging or contacting us because we have the boom has already been moved to the site. Now it's just setting on some pylons, but soon the actual machine will be coming and then it will all be reassembled. But there's been so much interest, not just our board, so we're excited to see that other people really have a genuine interest in this.
Amazing. And, you know, what do you hope people kind of take away at the end of the day from this exhibit? Maybe, you know, something that they never knew.
Well, I think just learning about the piece of equipment and the work that it accomplished in the coal mines, learn about this wonderful man. I mean, he had, I don't know, hundreds of patents. He was like a brilliant man, John Page. And then, like I said, the Wilkinson Coal Company, that's our local story. You know, they were out here close to the station, actually, is where they were located. And for them to have donated this beautiful equipment to us to display for everyone to see is just really remarkable. So we hope everyone will learn a little bit about our local history. They'll learn national. They'll learn about the Page Engineering Company. So there's a lot to be learned in this exhibit.
Amazing. And, you know, community members, they do not have to wait long to be able to see this and learn more. Is that right?
Correct. We are opening January 2nd. We're kicking off the new year. We're keeping with that patriotic theme. So you'll see flags and stars and all kinds of things to tie it into the patriotic. We'll have 3 programs throughout the exhibit. That's kind of been our standard. We have a quarterly exhibit, and we have a monthly program, and they are all going to be fun. And one in particular is going to be a game show, so that will be a lot of fun. And everyone can participate. It's nothing major. You're going to sit in your seat out in the audience, but you're going to participate. That'll be fun. The Tiltons who are moving the dragline will give us a program as well.
Amazing. And so for those, you know, sitting at home hearing about this and they're so excited for these programs and to see this exhibit, where can they go to learn more information about, you know, when these programs are happening and also the museum's hours?
Okay. We are open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4. It's free admission. People can come in anytime. We have a wonderful staff who can help them, can guide them through the tours or whatever. We always tell everyone our website and Facebook are our 2 biggest. That's the quickest and easiest way. We update those just routinely daily, so they can find out any information on either of those locations.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. We invite everybody to come out and see this new exhibit. They're going to love it.
Perfect. Well, thank you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 7:22 on this Monday morning. A reminder, we do have an alert day today, primarily for the morning hours, but just in general because it is so much colder today than where we have been the last several days. That cold front yesterday came through and it packed a punch, and we are feeling it this morning. We've got wind chills in some cases below 0, most of us with wind chills in the single digits, and we're not going to see a ton of improvement as we go through today. Now, again, we did have some wind advisories through this zone through 6 o'clock this morning. Those have been allowed to expire, but that doesn't mean the wind is not going to be gusty still. The only reason they expired is because the wind gusts expected the rest of today will be below wind advisory criteria. But we're still going to have northwest winds out there gusting upwards of 35 miles an hour. We'll have clear skies, so it's going to look nice. Like I said, it just isn't going to be nice with those temperatures as we are going to be well below average. But believe it or not, I did hit the button from noon to 5. There just wasn't any change. As we go late evening and overnight, the winds will actually ease up and eventually become calm tonight, which will be nice because where we are right now for many of us in the teens, that's about as good as we're going to do tonight for our lows. So winds would certainly make it feel much colder. And as we've talked about before, when it gets this cold out, it doesn't take much of a breeze to really make it feel a lot colder. Now we head into our Tuesday. Most of the day is clear. Eventually we'll have some southwest winds. Should be about 5 to 10 miles an hour. They're going to start bringing in warmer air. And we could have a passing cloud here or there, but by late evening and overnight into Wednesday, we'll start to go partly cloudy. And you can see some of those clouds, and will remain that way through most of our Wednesday out there as well. Just a few clouds, so again, partly cloudy skies. A weak boundary passes through, doesn't really do much for us, and our winds continue out of the west for the most part. But our temperatures Wednesday start going back above normal. Now, not to the point we've seen into the 70s, near 80, but we will warm up again. We've talked before, Mother Nature has a tendency to correct these oddities that we get every so often where we have really warm temperatures. Mother Nature's not correcting it yet. I know today it certainly feels like it. It got very cold. It's bitterly cold. In fact, for some populations, it is dangerously cold. But this isn't the correction yet because we warm back up again this week. Sometime in the next few weeks, the long-range data suggests that Mother Nature is going to balance things back out and get us back into a wintry type pattern. It's just a matter of exactly how that will play out. So it's something we want to watch as we get really closer to the second half of January. Nothing to worry about now, but we'll see how that all pans out. But again, otherwise, between here and there, we start warming back up again. Our camera 7th and range line, beautiful sunrise out there, just bitterly cold. We'll be into the upper teens by 8 and around the mid-20s by 11 o'clock this morning. And while we'll have abundant sunshine, the most we're going to do for highs is going to be upper 20s and low 30s. You factor in those northwest winds still gusting upwards of 35. That's why we have the alert day too. Our wind chills today won't make it out of the teens in most cases because it will be breezy throughout the day. Still breezy through the evening. It'll be late this evening before those winds ease up and eventually become calm. Clear skies continue. Low 20s by 10, upper teens overnight tonight. Tomorrow we're still technically below normal, but we'll be warmer than today into the upper 30s and low 40s, and our lows near average as well, back into the upper 20s. But then it's Wednesday. Starts us off. Here we go. Low mid-50s out there. Maybe a shower or two on Friday, maybe a shower or two on Monday. But as you can see, as we head through the next several days, those temperatures go back above average. Thankfully, not significantly. Not like I don't like the 70s, but this isn't really the time of year for the 70s. But we'll be in the low to mid-50s, overnight lows into the 30s, maybe even a couple of low 40s Saturday night into Sunday. That's check your forecast. We are back with more right after this.
Today in Health Watch. More than 60 people across at least 22 states have gone sick with salmonella, and the outbreak is linked to raw oysters, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC says at least 20 people have been hospitalized, but at last check, no deaths have been reported. No recall has been announced because officials said a common source of the oysters has not yet been identified. The Food and Drug Administration is also investigating. Well, coming up, a referee's life is saved by parents and staff at a high school basketball game.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:31. I'm Samantha Walker. Parents and staff at a high school in Arkansas saved a referee's life when he went into cardiac arrest at a basketball game. Tyree White has the story.
They saw me die during a basketball game.
There's a different atmosphere inside of the Cabot High School gymnasium. This isn't the usual pregame tunnel players use to hype themselves up before game time. Instead, students are lined up to cheer on the referee who almost lost his life as he reunites with the people who saved it.
Whatever they did is what allowed me to be taken to the hospital and make it to the CCU and get a stent put in my heart, and now I have a monitor on. None of that's possible if those nurses aren't here, if that woman isn't there to take care of me, if those parents aren't here. I'm not here.
It was the second quarter of a Cabot girls JV basketball game in November. Holcomb was doing what he's done for years.
I'm standing there and I started feeling a little bit dizzy. And remember saying to myself, okay, at halftime, you're going to need to eat something and drink some water.
But Holcomb didn't make it to halftime before he collapsed on the court from cardiac arrest. Athletic trainer Jennifer Asbury Mathis, with help from 2 parents with medical experience, rushed to Holcomb's side.
Gave me goosebumps. You never think it's going to happen to you. You train for it and you pray it never happens. And it did.
Nurse and parent of one of the players, Denise Hicks, helped with Holcomb performing chest compressions. Holcomb was then shocked back to life with an AED device.
Whenever we saw him on the court and were taking care of him on the court, we weren't sure what was going to happen.
Watching the video was definitely emotional, but very happy and blessed that his life isn't finished here on earth.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
In the Edo language of Nigeria, the name Nosakare can mean God stands by me. For Nosakare Holcomb, that proved to be true in Cabot High School's gymnasium.
Basketball saved my life. Basketball literally saved my life.
Doctors found Holcomb had a 99% blockage in his main artery. He now has a stent and heart monitor, and he's already back on the court doing what he loves. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, and a reminder, we do have an alert day today for those bitterly cold temperatures. Wind chills this morning have even been below zero in some cases, which we will show you in just a moment. First, a live look downtown Pittsburgh. The sun's rising. Skies are clear. It certainly is going to look nice today. It just isn't going to feel so nice. Clear skies over the Joplin area as well from 7th and Rangeline. KDOT camera 69, 400 looking along 171. Folks out there getting their day started. I'm pretty confident that majority of these folks probably have their heater on. Same from the MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. So if you are heading back to work today, maybe you haven't started your commute just yet, you need to bundle up because it is extraordinarily cold, especially compared to where we have been the last several days. We are at 17 in Joplin right now, 18 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures have been hovering pretty well. I haven't moved too much into the mid to upper teens and some low 20s. Sedan and the Water, the warmer spots, are each at 22. The cold spots still Stockton at 15. But when you factor in the winds, now our wind advisories were expired, the ones we had left, at 6 a.m. That's because the gusty winds today are going to fall below wind advisory criteria. But that does not mean it's not still going to be windy. And look at these wind chills. The best we've got is Newata. It feels like 11. Right now, it looks like we're all at least above zero, I should say. We're zeros, though, lots of them. Stockton, Greenfield, Carthage, Lamar, Joplin, Yates Center, feels like zero. We've had these wind chills as low as 3 below zero. And our temperatures compared to 24 hours ago are upwards of 50 degrees colder. That is a significant temperature drop in 24 hours. And again, in fact, a lot of us were already 40 degrees colder within just a few hours of that front passing through yesterday afternoon and evening. Now for today, again, clear skies, but those northwest winds gusting to 35 are going to keep our wind chills into the teens through the majority of, if not the entire day, before the winds ease up late tonight. We're going to go about 20 by 9, mid-20s by noon. Highs today, upper 20s and low 30s. And again, northwest winds gusting to 35. Winds will become calm, as I mentioned, overnight tonight, and then temperatures will gradually start to warm up back above normal over the next several days. We'll have a full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. The promise of an IHOP in Pittsburgh has been fulfilled after 3 years in the making. The restaurant is located at 200 East Centennial Drive, and employees say they hope to have the store open by today. Employees say there is still a lot of work to be done, and there are still positions that need to be filled, including servers, hosts, line cooks, and dishwashers. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Pop-Tart Bowl ends in the toasting of two beloved mascots. In Consumer Watch, gold is having its best year since 1979. Gold's increase of 71% this year has far outpaced the S&P 500, which has risen by 18%. Expectations for some Fed rate cuts in 2026 are supporting gold's rise. A weaker U.S. dollar is helping boost the price too. It makes buying gold relatively more affordable for international investors. Gold is considered a resilient investment, with investors expecting the precious metal will retain its value in crisis if inflation surges or if currencies drop in value. Well, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says Ford had the most recalls this year, according to its federal data. Ford logged about 125 recalls on various models of vehicles through various manufacturing years, breaking a decade-old record on recalls. Ford recalls came from issues such as software problems, instrument panels, headlights, rear view cameras, and more. Ford says the numbers of vehicles recalled through the year is over trying to find and quickly fix hardware and software issues. The company has more than doubled its safety and technical experts team over the past 2 years. And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're now looking at 7:43 on this Monday morning, and we do have that alert day again, mainly for the bitterly cold temperatures and the potentially dangerously cold wind chills that we've been experiencing through the morning, and it's not going to get much better as we head into the afternoon. The only good news we have at this point is our wind advisories were allowed to expire at 6 a.m., but that is only because the wind gusts are going to fall below wind advisory criteria. It does not mean the winds are going to be suddenly calm. All right, and that's why we're concerned still with wind chill values through the day. Northwest winds will continue to gust upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour, and that'll keep our wind chills through the day into the teens for just about all of us. But on the plus side, we'll have plentiful sunshine. No clouds out there. It looks pretty nice overall. We go overnight tonight. Winds will actually become calm, which is great because it's going to fall back into the teens. And then eventually tomorrow, we'll have winds shift out of the southwest, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we'll start with some partly cloudy skies here and there with a few more of those clouds late Tuesday night into Wednesday. So we'll start somewhat partly cloudy on Wednesday, and then skies should actually clear out again. And Wednesday kicks off our temperatures going back above normal as we head through the next several days. So that's what we want to keep an eye on too, is it's going to warm back up. Now, we're not talking about the 70s again, but we are talking about temperatures above average. So we have discussed before, Mother Nature usually fixes these imbalances where we get too warm at certain times or we have a mild stretch in the winter. This cold weather that we're getting, while it is very cold, is not the fix of the imbalance because we warm back up again this week. The long-range data suggests, and it's long-range is why we're not getting into detail, but in the next few weeks, second half really of January, Mother Nature looks to maybe start fixing that imbalance and getting us back into winter. So we're going to keep an eye on that over the next 2 or 3 weeks and just see exactly what's going to play out. As for today, though, it is cold, clear, but cold. 18 to start, mid-20s by 11 a.m. Our highs today only into the upper 20s and low 30s, so well below normal. You factor in those northwest winds, again, occasionally gusting up to 35, and that's what's going to keep our wind chills today into the teens. Temperatures, of course, will drop through the evening. Winds will ease up, but not until maybe 10 o'clock or so, 9 or 10 o'clock. They'll eventually, again, become calm overnight. Low 20s by 10, and our lows tonight back into the upper teens. As we head in the next few days, again, a little warmer tomorrow, still below normal, low 40s. Overnight lows, though, tomorrow night, much closer to normal. And then temperatures do that warming. Now, again, not to the 70s, but still above average. Low mid-50s. Could get some showers maybe Friday, maybe again Monday. That's about it. So we're going to warm back up a bit with lows into the 30s, maybe even some low 40s Saturday night into Sunday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, a zoo in Tacoma, Washington is celebrating 2 new otters. A new Asian small-clawed otter was born to first-time parents at Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium last month.
The zoo says the pup is most likely male and developing well. The otter has not yet been named.
The zoo also recently welcomed a male of the same species named Yukai. He was brought there as part of a breeding program and paired with a female at the zoo.
The pair have been getting along well so far. The zoo notes Asian small-clawed otters are the smallest of the world's 13 otter species. I didn't even know there were 13 otter species.
No. They are native to southern India, China, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, and the Philippines.
That's very cool. They're real cute little things, aren't they?
They're so tiny.
They are. Well, then we go from tiny to large. Talk about a big assist here. Shaquille O'Neal is using his star power to help a would-be officer stand tall. O'Neal is supporting Jordan Wilmore's quest to become Texas's tallest cop, sponsoring his academy reattempt after narrowly missing the passing mark.
Wilmore recently took his state peace officer exam and scored 69, just 1 point shy of the passing score of 70. O'Neal, a certified peace officer himself, reached out to help Wilmore.
He told the chief during a FaceTime call about Wilmore's situation and has agreed to sponsor his next attempt at the police academy. As an additional incentive, he says he'll have a custom-made car ready for Wilmore when he passes the exam. That is pretty cool. Shaquille O'Neal going, that reminds me of my driver's test. I passed by 1 point. I was 1 point over what was required on my first try.
I mean, but wouldn't you be a little bit scared if that cop pulled you over just like... I would instantly be just arrest me because you're so tall.
but he'd have to squat down, though, to arrest us.
Well, here's what's poppin' in Orlando, Florida. The BYU versus Georgia Tech game on Saturday was sponsored by Pop-Tarts.
I like the mascots, man. The BYU coach and MVP got to, I hope not the mascots, but to eat Pop-Tarts from their trophy before. Beloved Pop-Tart mascots, good, okay, good. Cherry and cookies and cream, which second one's the best, were lowered into, whoa, what?
Into a giant toaster.
Into a giant toaster. The mascot, no, that's fun. That sounds horrifying, but I get it, but it's just, that's fun. The mascots came out the other side as giant edible pastries that the winning team was able to enjoy. That is funny, though. They cooked the mascots.
They just cooked them. And suddenly the mascots are kind of dead where you can eat them?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I get there's, like a little workout in there. It's just from the viewing perspective. That's pretty funny. Elephants entertain tourists and residents by not eating Pop-Tarts on Friday at the annual Chitwan Elephant Festival in Nepal's Sahara region. Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Anyway, where they were showing off their football skills on the field. Now, painted with colorful designs, the Elephants took part in a penalty shootout. By the way, football is in soccer, following cues from their handlers.
The 3-day festival includes the elephant football match as well as a beauty contest and ends on the final day with worship rituals for the animals. Organizers said a dedicated team of handlers or mahouts care for the elephants at a breeding and training center in the Sahara, about 2 miles from Chitwan National Park, which attracts large numbers of domestic and foreign visitors.
So yeah, we're saying Sahara, and that's definitely not how it's pronounced, but you can see it there. What is that? Saraha.
That sounds
now, I think
better.
now we're getting, you have to read it 3 or 4 times. Well, the center houses dozens of elephants and calves and is one of Nepal's biggest elephant training facilities. That is actually really cool. I think, more sports would be more entertaining if we had more, creatures in them.
There's like donkey basketball is a big one.
Yeah,
I've seen and heard about. So
that certainly makes soccer more interesting, or football more interesting for if you see elephants. The thing is, maybe they could do that for people too. Like after the soccer contest, they also have like a beauty contest for the players and everything like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be lots of fun. You know what else is fun? Warm weather. You know what's not in our forecast right now? Warm weather. But we do have details on that and your Wake Up Recap after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for December 29th, your top stories to start your day. A full-sized mobile home was spotted being towed illegally by a skid steer near Carthage, Missouri around 5 p.m. yesterday. The mobile home traveled east on Oak Street, north on CR 162, and east on West Mound Street. Jasper County deputies confirmed the towing was illegal, as such moves require special permits, escorts, and clearance checks for obstacles like mailboxes and power lines. The towing vehicle was switched from a skid steer to a tractor. It's unclear if the mover will be ticketed. The destination was near the dead end of the West Mound Avenue. Further updates will follow. A crash occurring Saturday in Carl Junction just before 6 p.m. Reports of a 2-vehicle crash at Fountain Road and Highway JJ. Officials say the accident occurred when the 21-year-old female driver of a Kia Forte failed to yield, then traveled into the path of a Kia K5. Firefighters had to take the driver's door off to extricate the driver, and the 21-year-old was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we are looking at temperatures well below average out there, upper 20s, low 30s, and with northwest winds gusting to 35, it's going to keep our wind chills in the teens. That's part of why we have that alert day out there for you today, because it is going to be bitterly, if not dangerously cold. We'll fall back into the 20s through 10 o'clock. Clear skies continue. Winds will become calm overnight. That's good because we're only into the upper teens for our lows tonight. Make about the low 40s tomorrow. Southwest winds, they'll pick up. That starts bringing in some warmer air, so near average Tuesday night, and then temperatures go right back above normal, climbing back into the low to mid 50s, maybe some isolated showers on Friday and perhaps again on Monday of next week.
Well, a 7-year-old Iowa boy is making sure his dad and hundreds of U.S. soldiers feel the holiday spirit from thousands of miles away. Oliver Young hasn't seen his father, Sergeant First Class Robert Young, in 7 months. His Iowa National Guard unit is deployed in Syria. To lift their spirits, Oliver organized a card and care package drive with help from his church. library, and local businesses.
The effort resulted in 600 cards and nearly 3,800 snacks, enough for every soldier in the unit. Oliver says it feels good knowing the soldiers feel cared for, even far from home, and one day closer to reunion. Certainly a very special effort there to kind of keep them all connected. It's got to be very difficult, especially around the holidays. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this very cold Monday morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.